Do have just 1 week to go until the midterm elections. Republicans have been working to make crime a top issue for voters heading to the polls. Across the country, Republican candidates like Dr. Mehmet Oz in Pennsylvania or Ron Johnson in Wisconsin have turned to an old playbook for their closing message by branding their Democratic opponents as soft on crime. According to recent Gallup polling, the economy still ranks as the top issue for Americans, but crime isn't far behind. The data shows 71% of Americans say crime is extremely or very important to their vote this year. Let's bring in the Democratic governor of New Jersey, Phil Murphy. Governor, thank you very much for being on. Do Democrats have a hold on the crime narrative, or are they having trouble getting the message out?
Mickey, it's good to be back with you, and as if I needed it, that prior conversation depressed me even more so. You also mentioned Mehmet Oz. I just have to get this off my chest. He's a resident of Bergen County, New Jersey, not of Pennsylvania.
There you go.
Listen, the other guys play the crime card relentlessly and shamelessly. It seems every election. And the facts and their portrayal of the facts are in entirely different places. That doesn't mean that crime is not an issue. It doesn't mean that we're not focused on it. But I will just say in New Jersey this year, violent crimes, shooting, homicides are all down meaningfully, between something like 15 and 30%. We invest deeply, not just here, but as a party, in the relations between law enforcement and the communities they serve. We invest in law enforcement. So they're really good at playing the card. It reminds me, frankly, it goes back to Nixon's Southern strategy. It's got racial elements to it. Let's just call that for what it is. And here we go again. It feels like it's a movie that we've seen time and time again, and they're pulling that card out again this time.
Governor Murphy, good morning. As a longtime resident of Bergen County, I'm going to stand up for Bergen County here. I know you do, too. Let me ask you about the race you're seeing next door with the Democratic governor, Kathy Hochul, as someone who last year ran against a Republican in a race that was probably a little bit closer than you thought or hoped it would be. What is your advice to her, and how do you assess that race? Why is it so close? Lee Zeldin, Congressman Zeldin, is leaning in on that issue of crime. It's almost his singular focus.
Yeah, I mean, it's Willie, it's frustrating as heck. Mark was kind of made this point in your prior conversation. It isn't just that people are saying awful things and questioning our institutions and questioning the facts, but it's that people are going along with them. I spoke to Kathy last night. I think she's doing a great job, and she's doing just what she should be doing. She is making folks understand in New York that she is with them at that kitchen table as it relates to affordability, opportunity, rekindling the American dream. She is herself serious on crime. But I think our race last year, you rightfully point this out, I think we might have been the canary in the coal mine. In other words, previewing a lot of a tightening of races that we're seeing right now. But she is terrific. But having said that, this is a tough as heck election, and she's not taking any vote for granted, and neither should the rest of us.
Hey, Governor, you were born and raised in a state where there were Republican candidates elected to office who bear no resemblance to existing national Republican candidates and many local Republican candidates. So how hard is it for you, a Democrat now, governor of New Jersey, to sound a hopeful note about the future of politics, especially bipartisan politics?
Yeah, that's a great question, Mike. And by the way, New Jersey's been that way as well. So in Massachusetts, you had the likes of Bill Weld and Mitt Romney as governors. In New Jersey, you had Christy Todd Whitman, Tom Kean Sr., really great Americans, all of them. And I beg for that brand, that wing of the Republican Party, to reassert itself. I'm the chair of the National Governors Association. The vice chair is a Republican governor, Spencer Cox in Utah. He is emblematic of the goodness of that wing of the Republican Party, the likes of Charlie Baker, Larry Hogan, who sadly are leaving the stage. I just hope, and frankly, I think it's not, I'm saying this as a Democrat, so it's perhaps hard to believe, but it's far more than about their party. This is about the future of America. We need sanity. We need respect for our institutions. We need folks to abide by the truth. and tell the truth, to not make fun of some horrible, violent act that happens to somebody on the other side of the aisle. When Brett Kavanaugh was staked out by some lunatic, we checked our politics at the door and we condemned that. And I would just hope that Republicans of all shapes and sizes would do the same with the Paul Pelosi attack, by example.
Governor, good morning. Jonathan Lemire. Certainly, polls suggest threats to democracy extremely important. Abortion rights extremely important. But the top issue, poll after poll after poll, is the economy and inflation. What can you say as voters prepare to go to the polls in exactly 1 week? What have Democrats done to fight inflation, and what will you do going forward?
Yeah, I think that's another one where the other side, and frankly quite effectively, are playing a card that is disconnected with the facts. Congress passed, without one Republican vote, I believe, the Inflation Reduction Act. That's going to take time to sink in, but that's a game changer. The president signed it. He championed it. That's a big deal for kitchen tables around the country. And that is still in our future. That's to come. That is real relief. In New Jersey, we had a record $2 billion, Willie will appreciate this, from Bergen County, property tax relief program. It's historic by any measure. Laura Kelly canceling the grocery tax in Kansas. Democrats, in the face, in some cases, of realities that are beyond our control, like a war in Europe, please God, that is taking place, Democrats have acted and will continue to act.
So you mentioned Dr. Oz's New Jersey roots, Governor. Here's something he said in an interview last night.
Pennsylvania is too important, and listen, this is important. We do not have a Republican senator north of North Carolina on the Atlantic coast until you get to Maine if I don't hold this seat. And there's been a Republican senator in Pennsylvania most of my life. I'm going to keep one here as well.
So where is he from, anyway?
I mean, come on. He's from Jersey. I just want to make sure everybody knows that. And by the way, it isn't about whether we have a Republican senator or not. It's whether or not we have an adult, somebody who's responsible, regardless of what party they're in. And he's not that guy.
New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy, thank you very much for being on this morning. And we'll